Hi everyone, welcome back to another For Those Who Code video. This channel is where we learn and share skills about design and development. If you want to grow your skills and learn new things that's coming up, please like, share, and subscribe for more. In this fourth part of Gatsby and Prismic video series, we'll be exploring and integrating Prismic inside our Gatsby application. We'll be making the same site we built in Markdown in part 3, but now with the dynamic content being served from our headless CMS, Prismic, and eventually deploy our mini site that we made. So let's get started. I've already created a brand new project with Gatsby New, and currently I have the basic files that we are ready to work on, and I have added some minor tweaks here, which is just style sheets, and added some modules .css. If we just look into components, it's just basically the same as we have in the boilerplate, and we'll be making this particular site as per our design we have made, which is this one. So basically it would have a header with the Gatsby logo and an introduction, and mainly we'll be making this part dynamic so that we'll be fetching data from our headless CMS of our choice, which is Prismic. And here is heading, and then card 1, card 2, card 3, and loop over the cards. And we'll have basically a description page for our kind of a blog we are making. And yeah, for this one I will just go ahead and make a new component, and inside here we can name that component blog list.js. This particular blog list would be this particular list right here. Let's split it into right, and we want to import React from React, and create a constant and name it blog list. We have nothing that we can pass on right now, but later on we can pass down the data that we get from our GraphQL query. And right here we can just add our empty fragments over here, like add a span tag for now. Sorry, not spam but span. And this is our blog list, and basically I think we will be also exporting for default blog list, and definitely we'll be fetching our data from our CMF of our choice as well. Now we will take this blog list and print out or import inside our main screen to place it over right here. So for that one, I will just behind the scene complete the upper part over till here, and we can import our component made as well. So I've added some changes to our header, and which has a background color and a little bit of padding. And inside here we have the image component, and inside our image component we have made a use of our use static query hook provided by Gatsby, and we have made the query for our static asset, that is Gatsby icon.png, and further process it with child image sharp provided by our sharp library behind the scene. And later on we have also created an intro component, and inside intro component we have some hard-coded text, which is some text right here. And also we have added blog list, which is currently hard-coded static text right here. And somewhat our uh, current piece looks something like this, which is kind of like resembles our design that we are aiming for. So we'll be now going towards adding our dynamic content served from our headless CMS, that is Prismic, and we'll loop it down in a list right here. So now before diving into Prismic, I would like to share some of my thoughts on why Prismic is one of the great resource that we can find out there for our headless CMS. So why Prismic? First of all, Prismic is really a dead simple interface, and it's easy to use, and it can be used by a content writer or a marketing person or a developer as well. And another good thing is Prismic supports multi-language available in the starting plan as well, and it also helps us to host our static assets and content, and we don't need to have our database for ready for that one as well. So it handles everything for us. Also, it can be really quickly integrate into Gatsby as well. The good thing about Prismic is the concept of slice. So generally, the slices are the zone to insert dynamic content for richer piece layouts. So we have that feature inside Prismic as well, which is great. And obviously, we have the free plan for one user, which is really awesome. That's why we are choosing Prismic for our website. So definitely Prismic is a great choice and you should give it a try. And now let's head on to Prismic and create an account if you don't have one, and add some contents over to our Prismic so that we can make the use of our GraphQL layer to get our dynamic content from Prismic to our website that we are making. Now we are here at Prismic official website. Now let's head to login and create our content inside there. Prismic dashboard is pretty much quite straight simple. So I have some of my projects already here, but I will go ahead and create a new repository right here. And here I want to write a name and call it Gatsby Prismic website, which is an optional field right here, but we will go ahead and click on developer for now. So we'll be using Gatsby. So we are selecting the free plan and then hit on to create repository. Now we have already created our Gatsby Prismic site towards that one, and inside here what we want to do here is we want to add down our custom types. So we will just choose our language as English for now, and then let's create a custom type. So for that one we want to create a repeatable type because we want this to be repeated. So we have this inside our loop, so we will create our repeatable type and call it articles, and we'll create a new custom type. As you can see here, we have a pretty much simple interface. So first of all, we will drag in our title and we will call this name our heading, and heading of the article, and then it would be around, let's say, s2. So hit on OK, and then further what we want to add here is we want to add a thumbnail and a sub description. So let's call this a subheading or so. So thumbnail and subheading. So we want the image as well, which we will call it thumbnail. And for that one, we don't want to specify any width. So it asks for a pixel value, but we want to upload the same image that we have inside our design right here. Click on OK for now, and we can also add some images later on. For now, let's go ahead and add some subheading. For that one, we can just go ahead and bring on the title. So call this subheading, and subheading would be a placeholder name, and then we will give this around h5 for now, and click on OK. And then we want another image, which is the detail image, or we can call it description image or so detail image. Okay, and then we want to hit on OK, and then we further want is the subscript I mean the sub heading, and the heading is OK, and then the thumbnail image is OK, and then what we want is the written by and published on, and then a banner image. So written by and published on can be like this, and then we also want to add published on, which is a date. So we do have a date here as well. So written on, so on, and then hit on OK. And then the final thing that we want to add here is also we want to add UID, obviously. So, and then we can give it the name of ID and ID, and click on OK. And then last thing is the rich text, which is the description, and this is a paragraph. So this is a paragraph, allow multiple paragraphs, and hit to OK. And for our subheading, we could have also like added it as a rich text, but anyway, so I think we are pretty much okay for now. We can also add a slice zone, but we won't be covering slice zone for now. Just skip it for now. But obviously, in future, we will obviously go through slices as well. So save it for now. Inside our main dashboard here, we have already have a custom type of articles. And if we go to our documents right here, we can add our contents from here. So we will click on create new content, and we will add our heading right here. So for the heading, we can copy it down from our design that we created before. So heading, and for the detail image and thumbnail image, I will export that too. So for now, let's export the thumbnail, and then also we want this to be our detail image. Temporarily, we will import our thumbnail, and we have a couple of images right here, but I will just upload a media for now and click these two and click on open. And for the thumbnail, I want to choose this one. So this is a thumbnail, and I will also want to give it an alt text, helps for accessibility issues. So this is our Jamstack site, or maybe Jamstack banner or thumb, and then description can be copied with our right here. So I'll copy this one, and also we want is the subheading, and then for the subheading we can grab on this particular thing stuff right here and paste on to our subheading. And for the ID, we do have the generated ID, which is great, and we have the written on. So for that one, we can like place a random dates for now, and written by would be Jane Doe, and the detailed image would be this one. So I think we are pretty much fine. Let's save this one. Now, after adding some content inside of our Prismic, we want to go over our settings, and inside here we will go to our API and security, and you will generate an access token right here. So for the website, for the application name, we can call it mini website. You can name it like as you wish as well. And for now, we will leave callback URL empty and add this application. So now what we will get is the permanent access token, which is right this one, and it can be copied. And we also have the application name that we created just now. Yeah, we will make the use of these two, and then we will store it in our dot environment variables dot end, creating a dot end file. So let's go to our code base and add these. And I've added our repository name and also the access token, and inside our .env file right here. And in order to consume the content that we created inside of Prismic, all we got to do is we need some kind of plugin, obviously. So for that one, we will be using Gatsby source Prismic, which is the community plugin right here, thanks to the community. So for installing this one, I will just stop our local server. So and yarn add gets source Prismic. So I'll add a Gatsby source Prismic, and after adding this one, meanwhile we can go to our plugins, which is an array right here, and inside here we want to add our you know the plugin that we just installed, and for that one we will also create we'll just add a resolve, and here we can, and we also want to provide it with options and pass down an object where we have the name repository name, and then also and also the access token. For our repository name, we will always be accessing it through .env files, and access token we will also be accessing from the .env files as well. So for our .env files, we need to import uh, our uh, .env right here. So require .env .config, and we want to add a path which is .env, and after this one I think pretty much we can access our .env files right here. So process.env dot, so let's see, it's the repository name, Prismic repository name. We'll paste it right here, and process.env dot access token, Prismic access token. Let's paste it over here as well and add a comma. So I think this is pretty much it. Let's hit a save. And I also figured out that we were missing something called schemas. And looking at the documentation, how to use, and here we have an object where we can write our custom types mapped to schemas, which is required as well. To get the schemas, we will go to our Prismic and navigate backwards. So inside here we have our custom types, and let's visit inside this one, and here we have JSON editor. We'll grab this text right here. Let's copy all of it, and then I hope it's all copied, and we will go to our src, and inside here we'll make a new file and call it um, new file and call it maybe article.json. So and paste it right here, and I guess this is what we need in order to um, like start our local server. I guess we are pretty much fine for now. Let's see, we should add schemas, and inside here we can add articles dot, or just article.json. Give it a save, and schemas src schemas and article.json. All right, looks fine to me. Let's start our server. So we are successfully running our local server. Before it was like we forgot to toggle out the slice zone. For this tutorial, we won't be covering and going through the slice zone. So it's working fine, and moreover, inside our Gatsby config file, I've added my articles.json, which points to this file generated from our JSON editor right here. So now everything looks fine. Let's go ahead and dive into our GraphQL. Now let's write some queries to like query down our contents. So we will just get slugs for now. Let's play this. And successfully we get the slug, which is the evolution of Jamstack. We just add it inside Prismic, which is here, evolution of Jamstack. This means that we are successfully integrated Prismic with our Gatsby application. And if we query down all the data that we need, then it would be something like this one. But initially, if we look at our design, we just need thumbnail, the heading, and sub description. That's why we will just stream down with the thumbnail, heading, and sub description. So a sub description or subheading, thumbnail, and then heading, subscription, and thumbnail. So these are pretty much it that we want, and I think we have missed L right here, nil. This is all that we need. So let's copy this particular query and go to our code, and let's write this query inside of our index.js, inside our blog list, which is inside this component. So inside this component or inside our main index.js file, we can query down as a base query inside index.js and pass down as a prop inside blog list. Export const blog query, and which is a GraphQL query, and inside here we want to query down our blogs, and inside here let's copy and paste this one, and let's format a bit, and we want to receive props here, and inside our index base constant we created, So we want to get that props.data.blogs.ages.map, and we want to map down blog and use a fat arrow function, and inside here we will copy this one and paste it over here. And we also want to pass down the data, which is blog.node.data. And also I think we also need to take the slug as well, so we will check this one and hit play, and we have the slug as well. And let's copy the slug and we will paste this slug right here as well. Let's hit save, and here we want to use that slug blog.node.slug, and then let's format a bit and hit save. And inside our block list we will take our props that we passed from our index page, and a link to will be a dynamic link, which would be blog and then props.slug. And we want to also change our hard-coded text right here, so replace this with this one, and then we want to access props.data.image.alt, and then it's data dot I guess it's a thumbnail, so let's use thumbnail.alt. And then for the src as well, we will remove this static content and replace it with props.data.thumbnail.url, and here we want to replace it with props.data. I guess it's heading, props.data.heading. So we will split it right, make it easy for us to work. So dot heading, and then for the paragraph it's generally props dot data dot it's a subheading, so paste this one right here. I guess we are pretty much fine, so let's hit save and let's look at the browser. Cannot read property ages of undefined. I think it's blog list.ages, and then we have blog list.node.slug and blog list right here. So and then I think it's blog is not defined, blog list, hit save, and if we can't read property of 0, so it should be slugs, not slug. And let's hit refresh. Can't read property URL of undefined, so thumbnail, this should be thumbnail, so thumbnail.url, and then thumbnail on the, did you mean thumb? I think we have a typo error, which is not a proper one, so right here, so we will kind of edit this one, and it's thumbnail. So I already rectified the typo error, which was thumbnail, rename it with thumbnail, and we have our URL returned to us. So inside our localhost we can give it refresh, but can read property alt of undefined. So I guess thumbnail doesn't have an alt, so let's see thumbnail URL, and definitely it doesn't have any alt, so we will be just hard coding this alt. So inside right here we don't have thumbnail alt, so we will be just removing this one, and for now we will just add thumbnail for now. Hit a save, found update.keys. So inside our blog list I added our thumbnail received from our props. So looking at the index.js, we have a component called block list, and inside here we have pass our data. Also there is keys, so that we can have map our data we received, and also slug. And here is the query that we have, and inside our blog list we have our required data that we got from the GraphQL query, and we added again a map, which is a higher order function. So because we have an array inside an array, if you look at the response that we get, we have the heading as an array, which is inside the ages array right here. So for that one, we have tweaked a little bit, and currently it looks somewhat like this one. So we have kind of achieved the same thing that we generally designed. So basically, just styling is needed, and we also have the slug as the link, which where you can see in the left bottom. This is using Hasura with Graph. Uh, I mean Gatsby, and this is love for TypeScript, and all of the links are pretty much working. Now, the other thing that I need to do is create a component, which is a blog detail, and also we'll make a new page for blog detail, probably make the use of page 2, which we don't need. So let's go ahead and create our new component, which is blog detail. So blog detail.js, and I want to import React and create a constant and call it blog detail, which takes props, and inside here we will be using the same data that we have, and we'll be making the use of this one. We will get the written by, published, heading, and then the description from our GraphQL query. So I will just add the required things that we need for the detail screen as well. So we have our blog detail component ready as well, which kind of resembles to our design we created before. And here is a banner image written by, published on, heading, and then the description. So we have the image written by, written on, and I think we missed out the heading. So I will write the heading as well, which comes from props.data.heading dot text, or maybe just in heading. Let's see to inside our GraphQL, and we have the heading dot text. So we will add heading dot text. So I assume this would be okay, but I doubt that this won't work, because we have to loop it over again for the stuffs that comes with the inside an array. So description should be looped over, I guess. So let's try this out. So another thing we also need is to create a detailed page. So for that one, I created and renamed our page 2 with detail.js, and inside here I want to keep React, and I also want the link as well. I want to add this layout as it is, and then remove these two things and replace it with this one right here. So generally we would pass down the slug, which is the string, which is equivalent to slug. uh, ID is equivalent to slug. So we can pass down the ID, and in response we get this. So if we pass down this slug right here, we can get this particular article heading. And if we just copy this one and go to our all Prismic articles, and then ID, then query down and go to using Hasura with GraphQL, or let's say evolution of Jamstack, and copy this one and close this one again. Maybe paste that particular ID right here, then we should get the evolution of Jamstack, and we definitely get the evolution of Jamstack. This is how we, behind the scene, GraphQL takes on the slug and IDs, and in return provides us with the data. So I've added some of the code that's needed for our detail screen. So let's quickly go through the code that I have written. Here we have received some props, so which is inside the data object, and we have assigned the heading to data.heading, and we have passed down inside the block detail right here, and we have received that right here as heading is inside an array. We just mapped it out right here. And also for the queries, generally I copied right the query from our GraphQL. So and also moreover, the another thing to be noted is we need these pages to be created you know, dynamically in our build process. So that's why I created some of the functions that are needed in order to create pages. So for that one, we have access to create pages provided by Gatsby. And I have generally taken down the blog template, which is the detail screen. And for the blog template, I have queried some data that we need. And generally, all we need is the slug and the ID. And for the slug, we provided with the node ID, and which is inside the context object. And then component, it's a blog template. And for each of these detail slash slug name, so which should be different name. So I have created page for that one. And generally currently it looks something like this one. So let's close the console. And if I go to using Hasura with Gatsby, using Hasura with Gatsby is the dynamic heading that we have just looped here. So if we go back and click on the evolution of Jamstack, we get the evolution of Jamstack, which is the slug right here, the evolution of Jamstack. So basically we have already created some of the basic working blog. So let's go ahead and create our furthermore add the contents that we need here as per our design. So we need written by published heading and then this text. So I'll add these inside our detail screen now. I've already added written by, written on, detail, image, and description, taken down from our props that's queried down through our GraphQL data layer. And I have also added some URL and alt text for our digital image as well. And inside here, if it's an array, I just looped it over with the dot map higher order function, which is really helpful. So basically taking a look at the current progress that we have successfully navigated to our using Hasura with Gatsby. And if you go back and click on this, this is really working fine, and this is looking pretty much decent, except we have some styling over here, which is not the topic that I want to cover. Basically, somewhat we are pretty much ready for our demo mini website that we created. So let's take our website live with the help of Netlify. So let's head on to Netlify, and we will also be using their CI/CD pipeline for our deployment as well. So inside Netlify official website, we can head towards login with our credentials, which I have already logged in. And I'll go to new site from get. And inside here, I'll add a continuous deployment for my GitHub. And inside my GitHub, I will choose a file, which is right this one, Gatsby Prismic site. And here it is. I'll click on this one, and I want to deploy the master branch. And yarn build command would be, I guess it would be, let's check that our package.json file. Here we have Gatsby build, right? So let's copy that one, and then let's paste right in here. And then publishing directory would definitely be public. And deploy the site. It's deploying in progress. If you want to see what's going on, so you can also like go and see right inside here. So you can see the deploy logs and everything that's going behind the scene. So it's adding yarn, installing yarn. Now let's wait a bit for Netlify to generate URL for us that's already deployed and integrated with a CI/CD pipeline. Now we can see a site deploy failed because we forgot to add some of the environment variables that we need. So inside our, let's go to site build and deploy, and inside here we have environment, and here we have added our environment variables right inside build and deploy and environment. So I'll go ahead and delete this Prismic account anyway. So let's take a look at it's deploying your site, and I'm deploying it again. Hopefully we can get this deployed. Now our site is live, so let's preview our site. So here we have our mini site that we built with Gatsby, Prismic, and Netlify CI/CD integrated in default. So if we visit this one, and we have it already. So guys, in this fourth module of the video, we understood about integrating Prismic and serving our contents right from there. And we also deployed our mini site that we made to Netlify with CI/CD pipeline integrated. But definitely we can further add more feature to this, like social sharing and pagination to our articles as well. But we will just cover these for this video series. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you guys want to learn about design and development more, please like, share and subscribe with a click down below. I'll be trying to make more better videos. See you in the next one.